Good morning, friends. Thanks for being here this morning. This is Journey Home Meditation's morning sit. We're going to get through some shared breathing practices together and maybe have a little bit of contemplation on some ideas. We might have time to get to poetry today. We'll see. See where we want to go. But before we go any further, I think it would be good to have just a few breaths, just to find ourselves in our own bodies, and to be in this place and in this time, here and now. Taking time just to be with your own breath. It is impossible to overstate the importance of this practice. So let's have a few moments. I'll invite the bell and we can have a few breaths together, and then we'll just spend a few moments being in our body, being in our breath. Let's invite the bell. Allowing these first few breaths to be the invitation into our bodies. Let's just take a moment to explore as we open up our awareness in different parts of our body. If you're seated on a cushion or a pillow on the floor, or if you're in a chair, even if you're lying on your back, if you have the ability to sit up, I'd recommend just for a few breaths doing that, but don't stress or strain your body. This is a non-violent practice. We want to be as gentle and kind to our bodies as we can as we welcome in our awareness into what it is we're feeling. As you begin to bring your awareness to your breath, slowly start to shift into breathing in through the nose to the bottom of the belly and releasing entirely when you breathe out. Recognizing first, though, what it is your natural breath is already doing in this time. And this is a really good way to understand how my body is reacting to the things that my mind might be experiencing, or I might be experiencing in a spiritual level, that realm of existence that we have where we have the relationship of connection to everything else. That's what spirituality is. So just allowing the breath to be our messenger, the thing that tells us what's happening, is really valuable. Do you have a tightness somewhere? Are you feeling out of breath? Are you feeling nourished by breath? Just checking in on yourself and seeing how it is you are moving through your day. This awareness is going to really open you up to be able to have agency in our relationships as we move through our day and we communicate with one another. If I'm unaware of what I'm feeling in my body, what I'm carrying, if I'm compartmentalizing my thoughts, and pushing my awareness away from something, my body is still going to have that awareness of it. There's still going to be that feeling or that sensation of suffering or of whatever it is we are trying to avoid in our mind, our body's going to hold on to. So as we do this breathing practice, you might notice that your body starts to release tension, and in that release of tension, you might have a release of emotion. Welcome this. In this time, just welcome this. Okay. Breathing in through the nose to the bottom of the belly. Softening the belly to fill it up. Big, beautiful round bellies. And release. Releasing entirely as we breathe out. And breathing in. Release. And breathing in. And let it go. something that I find in this practice of being with these few breaths, before I do anything else, if I can have that practice of taking these breaths, whether it's before I rise out of bed in the morning or before I start my car, sometimes even before I answer the phone, it's good to have just a breath or two. This is not how we compose ourselves, in the sense that we aren't taking this time to fortify or prepare ourselves for this thing. It's more of a practice of, before I engage with anything outside of myself, I want to engage with the inside of myself, sort of just checking all systems. And at first, you might find resistance to doing even that. You might find a resistance because, there's this fear of what we hold inside of us. There's a fear of the pain that we carry. There's a fear that we move through our lives with, of what if I open something I can't close? We have the Pandora's box fear of emotions. And it's an understandable fear. It's an understandable hesitancy that we might carry, to not want to step into and engage with the deeper, more, I don't want to say buried, but maybe more protected feelings. That's maybe a more honest and accurate way to understand what my body's doing. So with the practice comes some commitments that we make to ourselves, and having a practice. I joke often in the beginning, it's a kind of a joke, a tongue-in-cheek thing I say is, this is a nonviolent practice. But it's not completely a joke, and it's not sarcasm. Oftentimes we have practices that we do that are a practice of forcing or shoving or pushing or pulling and yanking and tearing on different parts of ourselves. Feel the burn. We have this, sometimes even a belief that if it doesn't hurt, it's not working. You may remember, if you're of my generation, a commercial on television for a shampoo, and they would see the person shampooing their hair and they'd say, "It tingles." And the other person says, "That means it's working." I'm like, why are you in my shower? But we have this thought that medicine is supposed to taste bad, that healing is supposed to hurt, that getting stronger requires, being impervious to pain or fear or sorrow. Getting stronger equates to getting over it, or whatever it may be. But that doesn't have to be the case. And when we take these breaths together, it's a way of making a commitment to ourselves that we will be kind. In this moment, we will hold this space with gentleness. So making those commitments to yourself in your practice is important. That nonviolent practice is being sincere. Nothing needs to be torn out of place or out of its time. If there's things that you're feeling that are just really they feel too big for right now, that's okay. Breathe with yourself where you are. Come up and sit next to those feelings, come up to that place, but you don't have to open yourself entirely, ripping your rib cage open and exposing everything to be able to have the benefit of relationship with your own body. There's a great song by a group called the Banksons, and I'm not recalling the title of the song right now, but the repetition in it is, I don't want to wait to be happy. I don't want to wait. I don't want to wait to be happy. And what the song is addressing is that when we have struggles with our mental wellness, with our mental health, with our central nervous system being easily dysregulated, or maybe not easily, but being dysregulated in general, when we get a disruption in our lives, whether it's a persistent anxiety disorder or depression or OCD, there's so many different ways that we have sort of pathologized the way our central nervous system is trying to survive and regulate itself, sometimes poorly. And we can become convinced that until I get healed, until I can fix my mental disorder, until I can fix my nervous disorder, my anxiety, my insomnia, my binge eating, my avoidance of food, whatever it is that we are doing in our lives at that time to try to survive, to try to regulate, or to try to at least cope with being dysregulated, I'm not allowed to be happy. We think that until I fix this, I'll never be happy. Until I fix this, I can't have relationships. Until I fix this part of me that's terminally broken, I won't be able to be okay. And so we compartmentalize and we treat those parts of ourselves as like, irradiated material, some sort of a toxic waste that we can't touch. Otherwise, it'll turn us into a monster. But this song by the Banksons is reminding us, I'm not going to wait. I'm going to be happy right now. I'm making the choice in this moment right now. And happiness in this moment is not, I'm going to forget all of my woes. I'm going to avoid all of my struggles and strife and suffering. It's this understanding that it's okay to feel moments of okayness, even in the midst of my suffering. And that's not avoiding your suffering, to find the ability to hold that space for yourself. It's actually a way that we are opening to our suffering. And this is really important, I think. It's been really important for me to not always have a belief that my suffering is going to destroy me. And all I need of anything in the world, the only evidence I need of that is that I'm taking this breath right now, because there have been times in my life where I just knew what was happening was the end of me. I just knew it was going to destroy me. There was times in my life that what was happening to me, I knew that if I were to be open about it, it would destroy the people in my life. It would destroy the ones I loved. These were real beliefs. This is a real belief that we often have. It's like, this is it. If this happens, I'm done. And we made it through that. So that's the only evidence that you need in this moment right now, to just take that next breath and just go, okay, this is suffering. It is coming. It's here. I don't know if it's going to get worse. I don't know if it's going to get easier. But I know that in this moment, I'm going to take this next breath and I'm just going to be with the breath, not with the thought, not with the fear, not with the belief, not even with the pain. I'm just going to have the breath as the breath and see where that can take you just in that moment. Let's try it. Just take a breath to just be with the breath. And to do that, just recognize the sensation of breathing in your nose, recognize the feeling of your body expanding, recognize all of the visceral tactile sensations of what it is you're doing as you breathe in and then as you breathe out. Just feel the body contract. Feel the air, the warmth of the air moving out of your nose, the cool of the air moving in. Find your way into only the sensation of the breath, just for a breath. It may take us 3 breaths to get to that one breath. It may take more, but let's see what we can do. And just breathe at your own pace. Now, not for 1 second do I think that those 3 breaths mean that when we stop bringing our awareness there, all of our worries are gone. Not a bit. But the practice is to recognize I can be present in this moment without being destroyed. I can be present in this moment without even the unbearable weight of suffering crushing me for just a breath, maybe 2. Let's see what I can find. And as we start to find our way into that breath, what I have found in myself is it actually gives me the ability when I come back with my awareness to be a little bit more okay with the not okayness that I'm feeling. Sometimes there's massive amounts of pain. Sometimes things happen in our lives that just, they're not ever going to make any sense. And they're not ever going to not be painful. They are always going to carry with them pain. They are always going to be barbed in a sense. But as I open my ability to be with the gentleness of my own breath, even in the midst of that suffering, I open myself to that suffering. I open myself to say, hey, I am with this. I am here. I'm here. And this is really helpful to me because I think a lot of times I have this belief of aloneness, even with my knowledge of our oneness. There's still the experience of this person and this personality and this body and this experience in this time, right? Like that is not independent of our oneness as a being, as a species, as life, as spirit, as energy, wherever it is, whatever language you use to understand your belonging in this existence. Even with that 100% awareness of my belonging, there's still a sense sometimes of isolation and loneliness. No matter how many groups you can do, no matter how many social connections you make, no matter how many deep, intimate relationships you have, there is a reality of the experience of loneliness. That's true. And I think it's true for everybody. I don't think that it's overwhelming for everybody. I think it's overwhelming for some. There's an overwhelming sense of loneliness for some. And sometimes each of us may feel a bit of that, but when I can come to the breath, even in my feelings of loneliness, I can be okay with that feeling of aloneness. One thing that I know that is helpful with the breath is knowing that it's coming and it's going all the time. Just like the tides, the waves on the shore, it's coming in and it's going back. It's coming in, it's going back. I learned this from the moon. You know, she's moving in cycles, but she's always there. The moon is always full. The moon is always full. It's just how much the moon wants to reflect in that moment. That's where I gauge the moon. But otherwise, the moon is always full. The moon's always there. It's just coming and going. And the breath teaches me that, to receive what's coming. And to release and let go. And so in that moment of isolating suffering and pain, my ability to be with that breath for just that second reminds me it's coming and it's going. It's coming and it's going. It's a gift. It's a real gift. Because that isolation isn't forever. And that feeling of overwhelm, it's not going to continue growing all the time. It's going to come and go as well. And it doesn't mean that the pain of what is happening that hurts me is going to diminish as much as I am going to be able to accommodate. I'm going to learn how to carry this guest as well. And it just takes time of practice and doing that. And sometimes it's not even us that's experiencing the direct pain, but it calls forth in us the suffering. It brings back up something that we thought, well, I thought I was done with you. Well, we're not done with any of it. We're not done with any of it. We carry all of it. In fact, there's people that have come to understand that we carry things for generations. They pass into us. They come through us. We are made of our ancestors. We are made of those who came before. And if I'm made of their stuff, why wouldn't I carry some of that stuff? It makes sense to me. On some level, it makes sense to me. There's a lot of different ways to understand it. There's a lot of different lenses to use, talking about epigenetics and mitochondria and response to stimulus and all this. And we can break it down on biological science levels or chemical, whatever it is we need to do to understand or to move into understanding of that, we can do. But some would say we carry that trauma, we carry that experience, but we also carry that survival. We also carry that forward motion. And forward motion doesn't mean moving on from something. It means moving on with it. It means carrying that forward too. We've learned how to carry so much. And sometimes when we're with someone who is in pain, it calls up the way that we suffer still. And we can become kind of overrun by that. Like, what? I thought I was through this. I thought I was over this. Apparently I'm still broken because now I'm feeling this crushing weight of this thing that I thought that I should be past by now. Just take the breath. Remember that the moon is always full, and we only see what the moon is showing right now. Sometimes my body it's always one. It's always part of a oneness. And sometimes it opens up into parts of me that I haven't seen in a long time. But learning how to be with belief it's an important thing. To understand the difference between belief and experience is an important thing. Belief is the insistence that there is a boogeyman in the closet. And experience is feeling the fear of the boogeyman and learning it's not there. Belief doesn't always learn those things, but we can have them, and it can call up in us a lot of sense memory. So all this is to say, thank you today. I don't think we're going to actually be able to get to Appalachian Elegy today. Let me see if I have an accessible version of it on this computer here, because I'm realizing that I left my bag at home, and yeah, I don't think I have it. Give me just one moment here, friends. If I have access to Appalachian Elegy right now, I would love to. Okay. No, I'm not able to find it right now, and that's okay. We will come back tomorrow, and I'll have my paper copy of Appalachian Elegy with me. But let's take just a couple breaths, and I'll bring Belle to take us out together today. Inviting the bell. And breathing in through the nose. And out. Breathing in. And release. Breathing in. And let it go. So remember today when you feel yourself closing off or separating, it's okay. Be forgiving of that. Allow it to happen if that's what needs to happen. But remember that when you hold yourself open, sometimes it's just a smidge, just the littlest amount needs to be held open, and it's still open. It's still open, even if it's the smallest amount. And that means that you're there for yourself, and that's okay. That's a good thing. Allowing what comes up to move through, remembering that it's coming from within, that it can't hurt you and it's not going to hurt anyone else, and just let it move through your body. Be there with your breath and hold that space And we can do that for ourselves, and we can do that for one another. Just depends on where we are in that moment. Thanks, friends, for being here today. Let's be gentle today.